that has responded to the invitation. And I want to assure you that I believe you have a wonderful time in this program, because productivity is something we all know is very important, especially in these times that we are. So in the next couple of minutes, I will be taking you through what we'll be doing today on this event of talking about productivity. So just a little introduction from me. Perhaps not everybody knows me, but I'll just introduce myself as Dr. Olanrewaju Salako. And I love to talk to people. I love to influence lives in a positive direction. That's one of the passions I have, to be able to push people to get to do the right things, the right behavior. So I'm a believer in character, the good character, leadership character. So, and this is part of what we do, talking about the Impact Academy. So, by way of the free webinar, we want to bring to you today, talking about productivity. Productivity. So we can't keep waiting for others. I think while we go on with the presentation, as many that would like to join this program will still join. So I would like to say, can you all see my slide? You can see my slide. You can respond in the chat. Say yes, yes, yes. Can we quickly do that so we can start? You can see my slide.
I can see a slide.
Oh, thank you very much. God bless you.
I can see.
Yes, I can see your slides up.
Oh, wonderful. Victor, thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah. So just to keep this meeting very interesting, it will be important we all know the rules of keeping our mics muted until we probably have something to say. You are given the opportunity to say something. So now that we can all see my slide, I think it's a comfortable time to start the presentation. So once again, the title is How to Increase Productivity Despite Unfavorable Times. And I think none of these words will be strange to anybody here. Productivity is something we all love to have in our lives. Although we might say it is something that resonates more with the industry, resonates more with maybe the farming industry as well. However, I see it as something we could bring into our lives, personal lives in this case now. So majorly, what I'll be focusing on with this presentation is not necessarily the economic side of this topic, but rather the developmental side, the self-developmental side, the personal development side, so that we can have the right kind of personality to be able to overcome these uncertain times, these unfavorable times. So let's have an overview of what we'll be doing today. So we have a quick preamble just to talk about the first things first before we move into the main agenda, the main topic of productivity. Then, what is productivity? Just like I said, I'm dealing more with the individual aspect, what you can do as a person to transform your life by focusing on how to improve on your productivity. Then when you talk about why increase productivity, we'll be looking at compelling reasons why you must do something about your productive level, why you must improve on your productivity. Then I'll run through some tips for increasing your productivity. Then finally, we will conclude. So let's go to the preamble. I'm sure what I'm showing you now is nothing strange to any of us here. And that is the aftermath or what is even still going on as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The negative impact that it has had on the world, the economy of the world. So you have food shortage, you have loss of jobs, you have pay cuts in the case of some people. And, you know, it has made life difficult for many, all because of this pandemic. So it is not a new thing that we are aware that the pandemic is affecting the world in a negative way. Now, what is important is our response. So what response is required to be able to face this COVID-19 pandemic? Now, one very available option of a response is fear and anxiety, or even worry. But I can tell you that will only make things worse. So fear and anxiety is not what you need as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Because what you need to do is to acknowledge the reality of the times. You know, there are certain things in life, there's nothing on a personal note on your own side that you can do. And wisdom teaches us that whatever you cannot do as a result of you trying to make a change, then the best thing to do is to acknowledge the reality of such challenges. And that is the way to look at this pandemic. Acknowledge the reality of these unfavorable times. Now, the next thing to do is to also embrace change, because as much as possible, change is the only thing that people say is constant. And in any way we can change, in any way we can respond by doing whatever is needful to be able to cope, that is what we should do. And that brings us to this new normal. That is the new thing people are saying now. Everything is now what? In the new normal, new normal, new normal. That is the standard way of living of before the COVID-19 is drastically changing to a new thing. Now, before, when we talk about teaching or courses, you talk about taking courses in classes. But with the pandemic, it has become so fashionable that you have people staying right in their homes to take their lectures, to take their courses. So this is a new normal. People want to go out less frequently. They want to make more orders online. Everything is now going online. Everything is now going digital. But the problem is people who fail to move with this tide, you might be left behind. And that is why it's important you see it as a new normal, so that you can move on with the necessary changes. And mark my word, I say necessary changes. Certain things cannot change. You can't change the sun, you can't change the moon, you can't change the day and the night. Or you can change yourself. You can respond in a better way, so that you thrive and just not survive in the midst of the unfavorable times. Now, if I tell you, because I want to take you on a journey in how to navigate our way through these unfavorable times, uncertain times. And do you think it would be a nice idea if I tell you one thing you need in this unfavorable time is a car? Now, if you agree with me, you need a car, especially if you are, you're a lover of cars. Maybe you could just type it. And what spec of what model, what specification of car do you really love? And I say that is what I'm offering you in these unfavorable times. Do you think that makes sense? That it's a car you need in this time? So let me just quickly have your response. If you say yes, let me see a yes. If you say no, let me say no. Unfavorable times to navigate our way through this journey, I'm proposing that you need a car. Do you agree? So can we quickly see your responses on the chat, please? On the chat. Oh, I see lots of no's. Wow. No. Well, I would love a car. If you don't want a car, I want a car. So you can keep it coming, keep it coming. Now, with the car, I'm also proposing that you need a navigation tool. You need, these days people don't go around without their Google Map. So going with the car, you also need something to navigate your way through this journey. But I want to let you know that the car I'm referring to is actually not this car that you are looking at here, but it's this. You need a creative, adaptive, resilient personality. That is the car I'm referring to. Now you agree with me that it's a yes and not a no. So you need a car to be able to move through these uncertain times. You need a personality that is creative, a personality that is adaptive, a personality that is resilient. Now, what do you mean by creative? Creative personality. You have the ability to see new things out of existing ideas. You have that new concept you can bring out of things that are already available. That's being creative. And that requires some level of insight that you can look inward, you can look outward, and you can understand the needs of the times. Needs to be attended to, and that gives you a creative mind that can help you have an idea to work with. Now, what about being adaptive? That means you have this ability to adjust to whatever changes you see. Oh, today we have all the abundance, and all of a sudden tomorrow no more abundance, and you adjust. You can still go through, no problem. You cut down your expenses because you are adapting to the situation. You are adapting to the challenges of the time. Then lastly, I also recommend that you need a resilient personality. What do you mean by resilience? You see, you can be so pushed back because of the unfavorable times. You can be so affected by the uncertain times. But when you say you are resilient, it means no matter how pushed back, no matter how negatively impacted you are, you still bounce back strong. You come back alive. You come back able to still withstand whatever is pushing you backwards. You never break. That's the meaning of resilience. And that is what we need in these times. Now, moving on to what we need as our navigation tool. You need a map. A map, in my own opinion, is what I call a purpose in life. Because without a purpose, you have no direction. And without a direction, you have no destination. But when you have a purpose coupled with the direction, then you can be sure, through the help of God, you are moving towards a good destination. So you have to define that purpose in life to be able to help you in these times to go towards the right direction, right destination in this journey. Now, this is a very familiar picture to many of us. It's an unfortunate thing that we have around, but this is how it is. Many of the roads are in a bad shape. So, but the thing is this that I want to bring out here. In many of the times, you have no control over the state of the road. You don't have a choice. That is the journey, that is the pathway to your destination. And you have bumps, you have potholes, you have all sorts of trouble on the way, but it's still the road. But you have no control over the road. But what you have control over is your car. You are the one that will twist your steering the way you want to navigate through the pothole, through the bumps. And that is what you should work on. Work on what you have control over. Your car. And again, your car, your creative, adaptive, resilient personality. That is what you can use to navigate through life, because life will come with challenges, life will come with unfavorable, uncertain times that you just need to be able to go through strong. And that means the stronger your car, the more likely you will get to your destination. So if your car is strong enough, it can go into all those troubles and get out. And do you know why some people go ahead to make sure they buy themselves an SUV car? Maybe some of you think it's only because of the fancy part of it they want to show off. But I can tell you, beyond the showing off, most people get SUV because they want to be unstoppable on their journey. They don't want one small bump here, one small pothole there to stop them, like it will do for saloon cars, because saloon cars are closer to the ground and they are not able to navigate those bad terrain easily. But with a Jeep, you can do better. You can go higher. So I want to challenge us. We need to upgrade our personality, upgrade our level of thinking, upgrade our mindset, upgrade our attitude and response to life, to that type that is like the SUV, like the Jeep, that no matter the challenges you see on the road, no matter the bumps, no matter whatever, you are going to go through. So that's very important. That's very key as we move on in this presentation. Now, I think there's a way we can look at life. And this is what I've tried to picture here. You can look at life in form of 3 circles, concentric circles, and you can see that they are all connected. So in one of the circles, you have the purpose. You know, we talked about purpose already. Purpose gives you direction. And you talk about the pursuit, what you actually set out to do, what you actually lay your hands to begin to do as you move on that journey to your destination. Then finally, I'm sure this is probably the desire of most people, is to get to the destination of prosperity. Now, you may think prosperity is all about the wealth in terms of money, in terms of riches and all sorts of things, properties that individuals have gathered over time. But much more than that aspect of looking in terms of money and wealth, you can look at prosperity in terms of how many lives have been touched. How much impact have you made to the society, to the people around you? So let's stop looking at prosperity in terms of just the monetary value. But there's also the aspect of touching lives. And that also is a fulfillment in life. But at the center of all of this is the God factor. So I don't know what you believe. I believe that when you connect these 3 circles, what makes them all together so strongly and successfully is the fact that at the center of it all, there's a God factor. So we can't shy away from that. If the purpose will be right and the pursuit will be right, and you will get up to living to prosper whether in terms of financial or the lives you touch, then the God factor cannot be removed from the equation. So we move on into the presentation fully now.